Assessors basically have the responsibility of discovery, listing, and assessment of anything that is taxable within the municipality. Basically, what I say, an inventory of all taxable property. Well, that's how everything functions. Basically, in the realm of the assessor, once we put a value on something, taxes are then collected on that individuals based on their value. This way, someone who has a lot of value, very valuable property, will pay more in taxes than someone who has a very low property. Um, those monies are all received in through the municipality and turned around to provide other services. Mill rate. Mill rate represents, it's called a mill because it's $1 per thousand. Okay? So a mill rate basically represents how many dollars you would pay in taxes based on $1,000 worth of assessment. Okay? So if you have $100,000 in assessment and the mill rate, well, the mill rate in the city right now is 26.4. So what that means is that for every thousand you pay $26.40 in taxes. When you move the decimal point over to do the math, you do 100,000 times 0.0264. So you're moving the decimal over 3 places because it's per thousand, and you run the calculations out that way.
And that's how.
And that's how you determine how much each property is going to pay. Now, the mill rate stays the exact same for every property in the city. Everybody pays the same rate. It's the value of the property that is different that determines who pays more and who pays less.
Okay. Now, how do you decide what the mill rate is?
I don't. Um, the mill rate is calculated through the financial department and the mayor's office. It is a mathematical formula which basically takes what's called a grand levy. The grand levy is the amount of revenue that has to be received to the municipality through taxes, and they divide that into the grand list. The grand list is my inventory of all things that are taxable. Right now, the total value of the city, or assessed value, is somewhere in the area of $3.5 billion. So they basically take their calculation as far as what they need for a budget. I use easy numbers because it's easy to figure that way. If they have a $100,000 budget and the total value of the city is $1 million, then they divide the 100,000 into the $1 million and they come up with a rate of 10 mil. It's basically how it would formula out. If the budget doubled and they needed $200,000 but the value didn't go up, then the mill rate would go up accordingly.
Okay.
So it is a kind of a counterbalance.
Okay.
There's actually 5 rates that are throughout the entire city. There's the citywide rate, which is the base mill rate, which goes directly to the city, covers all financial expenditures except for fire protection. In the Westfield district, there is a volunteer fire department, and because they volunteer their time and services, their budget is not as great as the city's fire department, which is a full-time staff on call 24/7. South Fire also has a fire department which covers its own area, and so because of the different budgets for each one of the different fire departments, there is different tax rates for those departments.
Okay.
So that's why there's 3, and the 5th one is actually the downtown business district, and that is a separate rate which is used to address the issues that the downtown business district has that is unique to only them. Actually, beginning now, and due by the end of this month, each one of the departments in the city has to put forth a budget for the next year.
Okay.
The budget goes through the Common Council, Finance Department, and the Mayor's Office. The Mayor's Office takes the first look at all those numbers, and they put together what they would call a recommended budget based on all the departments' budget. So you've got my budget, tax collectors, town clerks, et cetera. In our budget, we project not only our expenses, but our revenues. This office would have some revenues, although not many, only because we charge for copies of records and things of that nature. But we're not self-sustaining in that end. Town clerk, on the other hand, receives revenues through recording fees, and they may receive as much in recording fees as their entire budget. So they may be more of a self-sustaining type thing. Anyways, the mayor goes through, he takes out, he looks at what everybody's going to want. He's got the ability to make adjustments to those as he feels necessary, and then he puts out his recommended budget.
Okay.
The budget goes to the council. The council can accept that budget, modify it, or reject it.
Okay.
The council is the one that has the final say over all expenditures. So the mayor can say, I want a 5% tax increase to pay for all these programs, and the council can say, forget it, no way, we're getting a 2% decline. Or vice versa. You know, they can say, I want a 2% decline, and the council can say, I want a 5% increase. The council has the final say. They're the ones that set the final numbers. So they say, okay, based on the grand list that the assessor gave us and the value of taxable property, and then our budget, we divide that budget into the grand list, and that sets the rate. And so then once they finalize that rate, they publish it. It becomes effective, I believe, 10 days after the publishing, and then we start the process of generating tax bills. We send all the assessment information to the tax collector so that they know what the assessment is on all properties. They then run the calculations, the assessment times that rate to determine the taxable amount, and then those bills go out in the month of July. Once they're received, the person has 30 days to pay that bill before it's considered late. So the bills are generally issued on the 1st of July. If you pay it before August 1st, then you don't have any interest or late fees. If it comes in after that, then it is considered late and you have to pay a fee. It's payable in 2 installments in Middletown. July is first half, January would be the second half.
Okay.
All those monies that the tax collector receive then go into the general fund, and those monies are then taken and applied to pay for school, public works,
All the different departments?
all the different departments.
Okay.